Hey, what's up? Happy Memorial Day to everybody who's out there. First off, I just want to say thank you to all of those who have served in the past and lost their lives. You enabled us and gave us the freedoms that we have and enjoy today. So I want to say thank you to you all, including my family members that have served, your family members that have served. Just a huge thank you, and all I can say is tons of gratitude to those who have served and lost their lives. So let's just jump right into it. The women's championship game yesterday was absolute fire. Flamethrowers everywhere on it. Look, they did a great job with the game. I think it was action packed from front to back. I did think that UNC had a lot of firepower to pull it out. I just wasn't sure how they would react to getting punched in the mouth repeatedly. And I think that's what Northwestern did. Northwestern just came out and they started punching them in the mouth from the beginning of the game. I think as a coach, you have options to call those replays. I think they were well used, as you guys could see. One goal, two goals can make the difference in a game like this. So major shouts out to both teams. I'd like to speak to someone who knows the UNC offense a little deeper. So if you know the UNC offense and you want to get at me and have a conversation, let's do that. I think it would be pertinent to have a conversation with somebody who knows what's going on, because I felt like at times they were a one-trick pony. They just kept coming with the same thing over and over, and we can kind of slice and dice that up. That heat and that pressure on Humphreys was, I think Northwestern did a really good job with that, keeping the ball out of her hands. And I thought there were some things that UNC could have took advantage of to put the ball back in her hands. That ball's going out of bounds, and it's UNC's ball immediately. Corey Humphreys needs to be over there picking up the ball and, kicking off the offense. I get it. She got her opportunities, and some opportunities were great. Some opportunities, they were on top of her playing some really tough defense. So that was a great game. Let's talk about the Syracuse game. I think there is something that is being unsaid that needs to be said. I think we're not doing a good job of analyzing reality versus nostalgia. And I think this is the biggest thing for me. Reality versus nostalgia. Why do I say those things? In reality, I think we all wanted Syracuse to win that game. I think a lot of us were emotionally charged. We knew what Deuces was doing. He wanted to come back. He wanted to make things great for Syracuse again. He wanted to get to the big game and win the championship. Was that possible with the cast of characters and the coaching that they had? Absolutely not. I think the reality of Deuces is we watch him and we want to see Mikey Powell. We want to see Casey. We want to see Lyle Thompson. We want to hold our breath every single time he has the ball. He's not that type of player. I believe that he will take advantage of every situation that's out there because of how brilliant of a lacrosse mind he is. But being prolific, I think, is a different thing. I don't think he reached that plateau of being prolific. Everybody pause right now because I know what's being said. Oh my God, he has the most points in Syracuse history. Oh my God. No, I mean, that's a real thing. He earned that. He earned every bit of that. But I think, once again, the reality versus the nostalgia is the nostalgia. We wanted to see Deuces go off. We wanted to see Deuces in the top level matchup, and we wanted to see him come out on top. That didn't happen versus Notre Dame. Yes, he drew the number one all year long. So what's our game plan after that? Okay, we're Cuse. What's our game plan after this guy is drawing the top? He's drawing the top defender. I'll wait. I'll wait to hear what we did. I'll wait to hear what they did. I'll wait to hear what the offensive coordinator did. I think the talent on the team carried them as far as they could go. Strategically, I think you guys could have came with a different game plan. There were some people that played Notre Dame and they found those soft spots, and those soft spots were inside and they were coming from behind and they were coming from those low wings. I don't think there was enough attacking going on from there. Look, once again, nostalgia versus reality. When we saw Mikey in the heaviest heavyweight battles that we've ever seen a person play in, right? That guy used to get absolutely and utterly destroyed when he was playing. If you've ever seen his arms, if you've ever seen his body coming out of a game, My God, that guy used to get the crap kicked out of him, but he would leave with 5, 6 goals and the most amazing things you've ever seen in your life, right? We're seeing him against, okay, we're going nostalgia, we'll go Princeton. We're seeing him against Damian Davis. We're seeing him against Ryan Mollett. You're seeing him against the best defenders in the world at that time. And what did he do? Mikey came out on top. Mikey played the toughest people. Come on, man. He played against Colbert and got knocked out versus Georgetown because he went to shake and Colbert gave him the business. This is the era that Mikey lived in. It was feast or famine, and that dude was always trying to get to the feast, and, I mean, he did. So for Deuces now, watching him, I think it's a different ball game for him. I think he's an intelligent player. I think he played within the confines of the game. And I think we were all looking for him to explode and give us 2, 3 theatrical points, maybe behind the back, maybe something a little bit different. The kid plays with flair. He's a tough kid. I've gotten to coach against him in box, and I know he's a very tough kid and a very good individual. But I think what we were all looking for was for Deuces to go off, win that game, win his matchup, and go on to the championship game, do work, and find somebody to give that 22 jersey to. I think that 22 jersey is going to lie dormant for a couple more years until they find somebody where they're really worth putting that 22 jersey on. Somebody's going to have to transfer up in there, man, and I think there's some kids from UVA that might be looking for some spots. But to be completely honest, I just don't see it. The nostalgia is gone. It's not there. I think Mikey had a good cast of characters around him. I mean, if you really look at it, a Kaufman, I mean, there's so many people, a Kaufman, a Banks. There were so many guys that could handle themselves back then at that time because he was pulling double and triple teams. And I mean, he was sliding out of doubles like it was nothing, and then these guys were wide open, and it was just put the ball away. I think the thing for Deuces that we were looking for is we were looking for some shakeability. We were looking for some JoJo Marasco. We were looking for some KC. We were looking for some Mikey out there. And that's not what you found with this version of Deuces. A little bit smaller in stature. Like I said, extremely tough. And the kid can score the hell out the ball. And he also takes accountability. I like the accountability that he took at the end with the presser. You know, letting him know he lied. He came and he didn't do what he set out to do. And I don't think that was a lie. I think that was just the cosmic justice and cosmic reality of what your coaching staff offers you and what the people around you are doing, right? You have a system, but what happens when your system goes to crap and you can't score for 5-6 minutes at a time? I think that takes a big chunk out of you. I think that makes life extremely difficult for you on the field, right? Look, you also had a matchup with the top defender in the world, and you didn't test that cat. And I think that's what we were all just kind of holding our breath waiting for. We were waiting for you to go at him and absolutely destroy him. Because if that happened, I mean, what's happening? They're sliding early and you're kicking the ball. And if you're doing that, come on, man. You got Roa, you got all these top kids who are out there who can put the ball away. That's all we were waiting for. And if you don't believe that's what you were waiting for, hit me up. Tell me what you were waiting for. I want to know what you were waiting for. I think it's nostalgia versus reality. We have to live in a place where we understand that these top teams are coming in and they're so buttoned up that they can achieve what they need to and get the championship weekend. Notre Dame hasn't gone away from what they've done all of their lives, right? They've always had some huge midi who can come in and absolutely sling the hell out the ball. They've had some attackmen who've had a flair for the dramatic, right? There's a couple of guys that have come out of there that are ridiculous. They've always had good goaltender play. Come on, man. I'm going to go back to the days of Jersey. We know we had Shane in there. But look, they haven't gone away from what they've been good at, and they've made it greater. If you took a look at their shooting and how all of their shooting strokes were coming off, those boys can bury the biscuit. And technically, they were very sound in how they approached their shots, right? If you watch them, watch every one of their shooters. There's no wasted motion in their shooting. They knew what they were doing. They're shooting, they're pin seeking, they're hitting corners. But their stroke is the biggest thing, I think, and the power that they were bringing with it. If you took a look at Cuse now and you took a look at Cuse back in the day, huge difference in how these guys are shooting the ball, right? There's a lot of smaller guys, yeah, and you got some guys who can absolutely bury the biscuit. But I think the free thinking way of lacrosse gets difficult when you get to the higher levels, right? And by that, I mean, I'm talking about within a team confine. I'm not just talking about one free thinker who's very good or at the top of their game. Like Lyle. Lyle is a guy, yes, you can put him in a system, but Lyle is a system. Let's be honest. I mean, the way that he works and he reacts and he moves, you have to be able to work with him within the system. I don't think Deuces was the same way. I think he was more a product of the system, and he was also taking advantage of the system. Anywhere where that kid could take advantage to score a goal, he would do it. I don't know. I don't know what's next for Cuse. A lot of us kind of had the juice in our head that we wanted to see Cuse Princeton again. And I mean, come on, man. Those were some of the best days that you ever got to watch lacrosse if you got to see that rivalry. That rivalry was just downright dirty and nasty because you had these upstate cats who were coming with a flair for the dramatic, and you had Princeton who was locked into a certain type of defense, to a certain type of offense. Come on, man. You had one of the best players in the world was Ryan Boyle at that time. Boyle was known as the biggest passer in the world, or the best passer in the world coming out of college. But his skill was so great that we didn't know that that man could bury the ball and shoot the way that he did until he started playing professional. Starts playing professional and he's shooting the ball, and we're like, oh my God, this man can shoot the ball. I think it's going to be, I don't know how it's going to be in the pros for Deuces. I feel like he's going to get to the pros and he may fade a little bit. Because look, man, these guys are the best at exposing what is the worst in your game. And if your game isn't beating the man that's in front of you, we know that you're going to have problems. A la Billy Bitter, right? Billy Bitter was absolutely amazing. That man could shake for days. Go look up his highlight tape and you'll be amazed. Don't look up his brother, Jimmy Bitter. Jimmy was nasty too, but we're talking about Billy right now. Billy was so nasty, he went to the MLL and phased out because these cats were coming hard, they were coming fast, they were coming often. And they exposed the softest points of his game. You can go back and you can take a look and then at me and let me know if I'm right or if I'm just blowing smoke. And if I'm blowing smoke, I'll stop talking. So we'll see what's going to happen for this kid at the next level. I think he'll be fully capable of getting on the field and handling some time. I think there's going to be an adjustment period because he was known as one of the best college players. When you get to the pros, there's all types of guys that are shining. That defense is crazy. I think about Mikey and how he took on those top. I know I'm going back to it. This is the nostalgia. I'm thinking about how he took on every top defender that was out there. I'm telling you, like I said, Davis, Mollett, Chris Pasavia. There were some guys that he played against that literally would rip your arm off. And I wouldn't see how he would be able to do that to the Princeton defense. That Princeton defense is extremely stout this year. They're all hard-nosed dudes. That ball hits the ground, it's a wrap. Look how quickly that ball is getting back up. Look how they're laying the lumber. Look how they're bringing the body. I don't think if Cuse made it to the championship game, I wouldn't have gave them a dub with Princeton. I think Princeton would have grabbed that one and ran with it. Pretty simple. I think styles make fights, right? This is one of the things that you look at. Who would deliver the knockout blow? I thought that the rain would be the equalizer kind of for everybody and kind of slow the game down a little bit. But absolutely not. Not for Princeton. That ball was hot. It was moving. They were efficient. And I mean, efficiency in the rain, it's the same thing with the Fighting Irish. They did the same thing. Extremely efficient. That ball hit the ground. They were fighting like hell. And I mean, they were coming, man. And I think Cuse definitely should have changed their game plan within the game. Sometimes you have to be amenable to changing some things up. Gary, I believe that was on him to make some calls and let that OC know we're going to change some things. I think this is where you miss Desco, right? Coming out of timeouts, especially offensively with the ball in their hands. You're getting some easy goals. Talking about their man up as well. Man up, they should have wrecked Notre Dame a couple of times, and I feel like it was a lot of wasted energy trying to go to the inside. I don't know. I don't know for them, man. I don't know what's next. They're graduating some really good players. I want to see what's next. And once again, I feel like they have to shelf Deuce Deuce. They have to put that number on ice for a while because who's coming in? What's the names? I mean, who's going to wear that? Who's going to. I don't feel like it's the pressure of the number anymore. I feel like it's the pressure of nostalgia. And if you can't bring it the same way that another Deuce Deuce brought it, I think life is going to be very difficult for you there. So, all in all, that's where I am on the Cuse talk. UVA, oh my goodness, we need to get on our high horse and talk about UVA. I think I kind of talked you guys to death right now. I want to prepare for the championship game. I want to get my stuff together because I am going to sit and enjoy this game. You guys do the same. Holler at you sooner than later. I'll be dropping some hats, some water bottles for the summer as well. I actually have some summer colors, but if you see me out and about taking pictures, you're going to see me in something bright like this so you know where I am. So you can see, it says the Lag Show LCA. I have a couple of giveaways, and I'll be selling a couple of things too. I know some people wanted to get their hands on a couple of things. So we'll check you guys later.